Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Antie Joan and Ontie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Antie Joan.
Hello, Auntie.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. How about your own self?
Oh, I'm just fine, thanks.
You're welcome.
It's been a week, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Started with this god-awful weather, the frigid temperatures of minus degrees. I think the highest one I saw at my house was about minus 10.
Oh, really?
I believe that was the highest one I saw. I have had water dripping out of my faucet to keep pipes from freezing for a week now. For pretty much a week now. Friday was the warmest of the days, and I actually said, I guess I don't need to drip water today. But then today turned into snow and cold weather again, so right back to dripping water. But this should be it. This should be it for a
while.
For a while,
yeah.
So
yeah, it's small flakes, but it's coming down pretty gosh darn good out here.
Yeah. What's the temp down there?
20 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow, we are at 10 up here.
Oh,
yes.
No sun.
No sun. No.
Well, none that we can see.
No. Very much looking forward to the warmer. And by warmer, folks, I'm talking like mid-30s. And we're so excited for it. It's the sun. It's the sunshine.
To get some melting. Yeah.
Yes. The sunshine is what we're really just grasping to get to. So I'm very excited for tomorrow and the rest of the week. And if on top of all that, so not only was it crazy cold weather, but that of course had to be the weekend that my lovely, beautiful baby boy, Killian, decided he needed to be sick.
Oh.
And we were outside in those awful frigid temperatures every 10 minutes from 2 o'clock in the afternoon last Sunday until 11 o'clock at night. And then from 11 o'clock at night till 3:30 in the morning, it was every 30 minutes. So that was no fun. No fun at all.
Poor things.
Yes. I kept thinking he was going to get frostbite because, of course, every time he goes out, it's not a quick, I'll just do my thing and come back in. He's got a pace. He was in pain. I'm not upset with him at all. I was just more scared that on top of everything else that was going on, he was also going to get frostbite. So I put his booties on. He hates those things with all my. It's probably like the third time ever I've put them on him. He hates them. Absolutely hates them.
Does he pick his legs up?
He does the high step. It's very funny, and I would have laughed more if we weren't out there for something else. Yeah. But he threw up 5 times, and the stuff that was coming out of the other end was blood, the whole shebang. You name it. He went through it. It was terrible. It was what I believe an allergic reaction to omega-3 supplements that he had just started taking. Needless to say, he will not be getting those ever again.
That's so hard to see them like that, isn't it?
Yes. We said our goodbyes quite a few times over the couple of days, just out of precaution. But happy to report he is doing much better. He's still on the bland diet, going to start introducing his regular food tomorrow. Things coming out of the back end are starting to look more normal, and there hasn't been any vomiting. So since Monday morning, I think was the last time. And it was also the first time that he actually vomited 3 times outside. Usually he just loves to vomit inside the house in the most, the most precarious places that I'm just like, damn it, why'd you have to do it? It's either on a carpet or in the bed or on a blanket or on his bed. But 3 times he actually went outside to throw, which I found very strange. So he was just really, poor boy was very, very miserable. Wow. Very miserable. But
that breaks my heart.
Mine too. But he's back to happy-go-lucky. He's being silly again. He's chewing on his bone again. He's just alert. So Sunday into Monday was the horrific stuff. Monday, he slept all day. Tuesday was, he slept a lot. He still was panting after drinking water, which was freaking me out. But he was holding things down, at least water and all that. And then by Wednesday, I ended up going to the vet and getting him a bit of medication, some antibiotics, and a diarrhea stopper. pill thing.
Yeah.
And his bland food and all that wonderful stuff. So one of the downsides of being vegan is I don't keep chicken or ground turkey in my house. I used to keep some in the freezer, but the dogs, even my previous dogs, didn't get sick on any kind of regular basis. So they would sit in the freezer for years. And by then I'm like, well, I don't think it's safe to give you this now because it's been sitting in my freezer for years. So I stopped doing that. So, and of course it was this, we had wind, we had snow, we had frigid temperatures. So it wasn't easy for me to get out to go grocery shopping to get him any of these things either.
Yeah.
So lessons learned are never start a new medication with your dog in the winter. Unless it's absolutely positively necessary. Because I'd like to see his movement get a little bit better, but it's not. I mean, he still walks around. We go for walks and stuff, and he's fine. But his legs do shake from time to time. So that's why the vet had recommended the omega-3 supplements. And many dogs around this and flourish on it and have really great results for it. So again, I'm not begrudging the recommendation to try these supplements. Unfortunately, Killian, they are not for Killian.
He's just a precious, gentle flower.
My little delicate flower. That's correct.
Delicate. That's the word I was looking for.
That's my delicate flower. Yes.
But he is precious, too.
He is precious.
So the roads were such, the weather was such that as bad as he was, you couldn't really get him down to Boulder or any place for, wow.
Nope. Couldn't do anything. Even I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, they had that blowing snow down on Highway 93. The highway was closed for hours. They called it a ground blizzard because it wasn't new snow. It was snow that had already fallen, just blowing all over the road. People couldn't see. There were drifts. I had probably almost 3-foot drifts in front of my garage door that I had to clear. Thankfully, though, the rest of my driveway got cleared from the wind. So you take the good with the bad. My procrastination for not going outside in the frigid temperatures to clear my driveway paid off a little bit. I just had to clear the drifts that were created from the snow I didn't remove that were in front of my garage doors. But yeah, it was all just...
I think 93 was closed for like 5 hours.
It was crazy. Absolute crazy. I don't have any down trees, which is good. I think my clearing of trees last year has helped tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
I heard my neighbor using his chainsaw, I want to say yesterday, so I didn't see that he lost a tree and I haven't seen him outside. He could have been anything, but it was weird for me to hear a chainsaw yesterday and I was like, So I'm not quite sure what he was up to. But anyway, so that's what was going on with my baby boy, but he's on the mend and I couldn't be happier.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Me too.
Geez.
Me too.
I mean, I think most people have gone through that with their pets and whatever, and it just breaks your heart because they can't really tell you right out what hurts, and so you just kind of have to zoom in. It's been a shit week, I'll have to say that this week. It'll go down as the shit week of 2025 because poor Killian was taking stuff to firm him up, and I had to take stuff to loosen me up. And
how did your wet and wild ride go, Auntie Joan?
For my 5-year colonoscopy. Oh, it was worse than I remembered, that prep thing.
Oh, did it taste like smelly socks?
No, it tasted okay, but it was like, man, I just get up, get something to drink, get some of that stuff to drink, and then go back in the bathroom because when it's ready to come, it comes.
It does. I have to plug my nose to take that stuff. That's how vile I think it is.
They had a lemon packet, didn't
they? I don't get that, and I don't understand.
Huh.
I've never, ever gotten a flavor packet.
Well, get yours from King Soopers. They had it there.
Maybe. Yeah.
And then they have you take half of it the night before, and then 5 hours before your check-in time, then they want you to start taking the second half. And so I think I got 2 hours of sleep and then had to get up at 4 o'clock to start taking it again. And I see now why they have you do that, because I thought I was done after the half. And
not until it comes out clear, Auntie Joan.
Well, it was coming out clear.
At the first half?
After the first half, yeah. But the stuff gets moved down, in the small intestines, and it starts getting worked down.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was complimented on with my good prep by the
Nice.
gastroenterologist. So they only found a couple polyps, and
Well, that's good.
yeah.
Yeah, because somebody had, after my second or third one, I don't remember, a friend of mine said something like, "You finished all of the prep?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "Wow, you're a really good patient." I'm like, "You don't?" And she's like, "That stuff is disgusting." I'm like, "Yeah." But the whole point to do a colonoscopy,
Mm-hmm.
like I didn't know it was an option. Like I thought you just had to do it. Like I've done it every single time.
The instructions on mine said drink till it's gone. Don't
Right.
drink at all. Yeah.
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 I couldn't
And
believe when
then
she questioned it. I was like, "What do you mean, good patient? I thought that was just what you do." She's like, "Oh, that stuff that makes me gag." I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's disgusting. I get it, but you got to do it."
to me, it wasn't that disgusting.
Well, I'm
It was
gonna hopefully I
just,
get that lemon pack, and maybe it won't be as disgusting.
oh,
But
I don't know if it made a difference.
well, now I'm thinking dirty socks plus lemon. I don't think I'd like that any better.
Hmm. Well, they have alternatives you can take.
I think they do, but I think for folks like us who have to get them every 5 years, I don't necessarily think that's an option. I think you're talking about the pills.
Yeah.
There is a pill option, but I've never been able to get the pills. And I think it's because I'm such a high risk with my mother's history, and you've had polyps. So, and anybody who's had polyps, I don't think they're eligible for the pill option. I don't know that to be 100% true. So if anybody's got any information on that, because I'm too lazy to go look it up myself, by all means, shoot us a line on Instagram, Facebook, or the YouTube, and we'd love to know.
Yeah.
We'd love to be educated.
In the little report you get when you
Did you get a picture?
I got bunches of pictures.
Oh, Christmas cards.
I'll have to bring them when we have lunch.
Yay!
It's really hard to see. One of the things the gastroenterologist said was that I was a pleasant patient. I mean, the guy said maybe 5 words. No, he did explain to me about how when the polyps grow into the appendix, they can't really get in there and snip them. So that was why they had encouraged me strongly to have the appendectomy 5 years ago, because I had a polyp growing into. He said those polyps will get into the appendix, and good chance they can turn cancerous. So that's one less thing I have to worry about. I don't have to worry about appendicitis.
That's right.
I don't have to worry about ovarian cancer, because those are gone.
Yeah.
So hallelujah. And I got the scars to prove it. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss what we are watching.
What you watching, Auntie?
I talked about this wonderful gentleman many episodes ago, and because you introduced a new TV show to me that I'm dying for the new season to come out. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes.
But he's also a stand-up comic, and he just had a new special. I couldn't think of the word. He just had a new special come out on the Hulu. And it's Roy Wood Jr., Lonely Flowers.
Yes.
And I was very excited when I saw this and texted Antie Joan right away and said, "Guess what we're going to talk about? So get on it, watch it." And I loved it. I just love him. I think he's just so endearing in the way he delivers his lines and his jokes. And I love that he called himself, what was it? Stanley from The Office on Ozempic.
Yes.
Then he said, "Y'all can kiss my ass," when everybody laughed at that too, by the way. And I don't think, I mean, there's resemblance a little bit, but I never would have thought they looked anything alike until he said that. And then I was like, I guess there are some similarities, but so he looks really good, because on The Daily Show, he was always in a suit. So I didn't ever really get to see him much in street clothes. And this show that we're watching, which I can't remember the name of it. What's the other show, Auntie Joan? With Amber Ruffin and Ian Michael Black. That's his name. But I can't remember the name of the show. It's
okay, one moment, please.
Because you just sent me that it's coming back like second weekend in February or something like that. Glad it's coming on for a new season.
Yes, it is. I can't wait for that because that's one of my favorite shows now. I like it so much I can't remember the name offhand. Have I got news for you?
That's it. And he wears a suit on that too. So seeing him in regular clothes that he would just be going out in was nice. I think, I thought he looked really good. Did not appreciate how much he jiggles his face. I got to say that I could have done without. He jiggled his face way more than I ever remember him doing. Other than that, he's just adorable. I just thoroughly enjoy him. I love his line about there should be an ally lane for supporters to get through protest rallies in the streets. Oh God, I love that he hates the self-checkout machines at the grocery stores.
I thought of you.
And he basically says, I don't work here. And I'm like, that's right. They're not paying us. Why are we doing this?
And then you got to look so hard to find somebody that works there.
Yes. And when you do, you should hold their hand, because I actually have an example of that. Because if you don't hold their hand, they're going to get taken by somebody else who also needs help. And I had that exact situation happen to me in the Whole Foods in Superior, Colorado, because of course they were out of the damn extra firm tofu like they always are. Or it wasn't out. The shelf was empty. And I know they're not out because it's their damn brand. They just don't restock. And this was a while ago. I just had a recent episode with that, but this particular thing that I'm talking about was a couple months ago. And this very, very nice young man, oh, I will go find somebody in grocery to help you. And I'm like, okay. And I'm standing there. He comes back. He's like, has nobody been by yet? I'm like, no. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to go find somebody, that can help you. And I see him. And keep in mind, I'd already been waiting like 10, almost 15 minutes. And then I saw him walk away, and another woman stopped him and started asking him for whatever. And I finally just walked over. I'm like, look, I don't need it that bad. I'm just going to go. He's like, no, I'm going to get it for you. I'm like, I know you will, but I got to go. I've already been waiting. The excuse they all gave back then was that when you go up to that particular store on Mondays, because they were so busy over the weekend, they haven't had a chance to restock yet. So I took that and started not going on Mondays. I know I'm going off on a little tangent. And then, this past time I went on a Thursday and they still were out. So then I had to go out to the courtesy desk and I told them what fours for that. And I'm tired of it. But anyway, back to Roy Wood. Yeah, so when I saw that with you got to hold his hand the whole time, I was like, oh my God, you totally do, because they'll get taken by somebody else.
And he talks about it like they're going together,
Yeah.
And
so cute. I didn't know Foot Locker was still a thing. I mean, that goes back to us not being in a mall forever. But when he said Foot Locker, I'm like, is that still a store? Apparently it is. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
You have to provide Chick-fil-A level kindness at gun stores. I thought that was awesome.
Did you used to go to Chick-fil-A?
When I ate meat, yeah. Oh my God, the chicken minis is holy tamale, delicious and bowel cleansing all at the same time.
So you can have as much as you want. It's a net zero.
It is a net zero in the end. Pun intended. But yes, I used to love chicken minis. Were my absolute favorite thing.
And they actually come out to the car, right? And get your orders and stuff if there's a long line.
Oh, I don't know.
That.
I never. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yes. I always had to we can go get chicken minis, but I got to go somewhere right after. So it's not like a road trip food for me.
It's like that thing we talked about the library or the bookstores.
I don't think that actually had anything to do with it. This was actual product, because with the chicken minis, they actually put some kind of butter substance on the little buns, and they're freaking delicious. Make no mistake about it. But dairy has never really sat well with me, even when I was a meat eater. So I would always have to I could get them, but we had to go somewhere to eat them so I could then evacuate my bowels immediately.
Thanks for sharing that.
You are welcome. Back to Roy Wood Jr.
Yeah. No, when he talked about you can't find anybody that works there at the grocery store. And when you do, you grab them and you don't want to let them go. I kind of flash back to the show that John Oliver did about the dollar stores and how those places only have like one person working for the entire store.
Yep.
And it is true. They are cutting back on the number of employees and stuff. Boy, remember the old days when no matter what store you went to, no matter what time, no matter which cashier, there was somebody at the end of the line, at the end of the counter, there to bag your groceries.
Oh, I just had incident with that at the King Supers in Arvada when I went to go get Killian's meat products.
Yeah.
And I was checking out. I bought some other things, but I was bagging myself because I prefer to bag my own because I'm going to bag it the way I'm going to take it out and all that stuff. But that's just my personal preference. I totally get why people like baggers and all that stuff. So I was bagging my stuff and I was doing it kind of close to where the cashier was. And I don't know if she was annoyed that I was doing it or whatever, but she started going super, super fast with like getting over the scanner thing. Like, and then started the conveyor belt down away from where I was. Like, so those stuff would go to the end. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? You see me, I'm bagging my own stuff. Well, then a bagger, as I was done, and I actually had 2 bags because I put the meat in one bag. So I really didn't fill 2 bags. And had my other bag was kind of getting heavy. So I'm like, I had another one in my purse. So I was going to get that out and a bagger showed up and the woman at the cashier was like, did you put in your King Supers number? And I said, not yet. Like, you see what I've been doing the entire time I've been standing here. And then she says, well, she'll do that. Meaning the bagger will now bag that. So you can put your number in. And I was like, no, because now you've pissed me off. So I finally get my bag out and the bagger's standing there. I'm like, no, I'm gonna finish bagging my. Oh, you're gonna bag your own? Like she was all taken aback, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, okay. Like I was offending her in some way, and I'm like, okay. So she went on to a different line. And then, so I'm finishing up bagging my stuff. And then those two make the cashier and the bagger. I don't know, the bagger I don't know if said something, made a gesture or flipped me off behind my back. I have no idea. And because the cashier who I'm facing says, don't you worry about it, to each their own. And I was like, what did I do that was so bad? First of all, there was no bagger when I first got here.
Yeah.
I was 90% done bagging. I still needed to get out because I bring my own bags. I still had to get out another bag, but they acted like it was such an affront that I wanted to finish bagging the stuff that I had already done 90% of.
Boy, that's not like any time I've been to the store. It's like you almost got to get on your knees and beg to get somebody.
And I thought of you when this was all happening. I'm like, poor Auntie Joan has to beg for service. I get the service. Say, I bag my own. Basically, I'll finish this. And then I get persecuted for it. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Poor Auntie Joan.
Poor Auntie Joan. I tell you, I don't get it. I was like, what is happening? So yeah, that was my first time ever in that King Supers. And I gotta tell you, I don't have a great need to go back. To mention, I picked up a bag of shredded carrots from the produce department. I could not quickly see the date because my eyes suck, as everybody knows. And so I just threw it in my car. I'm like, I'm sure it's fine. Threw it in my cart, got it home. It had expired 4 days before.
Oh.
And I immediately put it right into my little Lomi composter because I'm like, I'm not going to eat that. It didn't look bad, but I'm like, I don't need to give myself food poisoning on top of Killian having.
Well,
so I decided I'm just.
Well, this was the week to do it, but
right.
So it was the expiration date, or was it the sell-by date?
Well, it was, but it's produce. See, like packaged things and their expiration dates, I have way more leeway about. Fresh produce, not so much. Like if I had bought it. If it was going to expire in 2 days and I kept it for an extra couple of days, because I wasn't going to eat it all in one shot anyway. It's not like I was going to eat it that day and it would have been done. When I buy a bag of shredded carrots, it lasts me at least a week, if not 2 weeks, depending. You know what I mean? So I was not going to go that long past, because it's going to get mealy. The carrots get mealy at a point.
Right.
So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just not even going to bother with this. Because I didn't have I didn't buy it that day to use it that day for a recipe. It was just, shredded carrots. I haven't had those in a long time. Let me grab a bag of those.
Yeah, and shredded carrots are probably a little more susceptible.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So I'm just like, nope. So 2 strikes against the King Soopers.
Yeah,
well, technically 3, because I didn't appreciate the cashier. I did not appreciate the bagger's reaction to me wanting to complete my bagging of my own groceries, and I got expired 4 days. Expired on the 17th, and I went on the 21st. And I'm like, so how do you guys still have this on the goddamn shelves?
So I should probably start going to the King Soopers in Arvada. Huh?
Yeah, just don't get the shredded carrots.
I don't get them shredded anyway.
And then
back to Roy.
That's right. Your daddy got your auntie pregnant, and now you got a brother cousin.
Okay, now you got to remind me of that one.
That's what he said. Your daddy got your auntie pregnant, and now you got a brother cousin. Oh, freaking mwah.
I don't remember that.
And then Dion, the 50-year-old jacked white photographer with the demon dolphin tattoo.
Now, obviously, he doesn't remember Dion and the Belmonts. They were a nice Italian group.
Never heard of them.
In the 50s. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Roy's younger than me. So if I'd never heard of them, Roy sure shit never heard of them. He's like 10 years younger than I am. Explore the limitations of sensuality. Freak show in Puerto Rico with a chef making omelets at an orgy. The Puerto Rican suck and slurp.
With King and Jazz.
Oh, freaking awesome. I cannot say enough about this stand-up. I have to say, this was actually my I rewatched it this morning in preparation for today because I'd watched it 2 times previous, but had gotten distracted. And my fault 100%. Instead of pausing, I took a text or whatever, and I kept getting distracted. But today I was like, no distractions. Turned my phone on airplane mode, sat there, and actually just watched it. And it was so good. Oh, and I loved his take on not switching seats requests for married people on the airplanes because it's a test of their relationship.
Yes.
And I'm like, exactly. Do you have any idea how many times I'm getting on an airplane, not a request to change seats? That almost never happens to me because usually my answer would likely be no. Can I just scooch up ahead of you a little bit because my husband's up there and we're together? And it's like, and it's not even just husband and wives. It's and my friends up there. Is it okay if I'm like, you're like 3 people away from each other. You're going to get lost getting on the plane? Are you going to get lost because it's happened getting off the plane? I mean, it happens all the time. It's like, people, you do not need to be stuck to your people like that. That's ridiculous. Have a little independence.
It's not like they're going to get on another plane.
Exactly.
Or go out the exit door.
And I say, I'm like, are you going to get lost?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why you need to move up.
Yeah.
They're right there. You're probably sitting next to each other. So you're going to be separated for what? 20 seconds? Oh my God, separation anxiety. Calm the fuck down.
You can tell him. No, I think this is a test of your relationship.
I agree. I love that
take.
I love that take on it. I was like, that's exactly what I'm going to say. Ridiculous. And then the bucket of bubble juice. I almost peed myself on that one.
The bubble man?
Yes. But he called it, he had his bucket of bubble juice. Yeah.
Like, I had never heard of
the Bubble Man.
Bubble Man, yeah.
I looked him up. They're legit. It's
obviously,
yeah.
But, then
I think it's called Bubble Man of NYC. Yeah,
and it looked like he was.
Doing
100%.
100%. They do private parties. They have their own events. They do private parties. The whole shebang. Yeah.
Oh, so
they have a legit website.
So instead of Oktoberfest, maybe you're going to have a Bubble Fest.
No. Just because the sheer amount of kids that'll be there. I don't want to be with that many kids.
Oh, no, I meant have a private party.
Oh, have a private party, maybe.
Oh, no, you'd have to pay their
airfare.
And yeah.
But, my God. But I also loved his sentiment, and not his sentiment, but apparently this is Bubble Man's sentiment, that when perfect moments leave, I'm paraphrasing because he said it much longer, and I'm going to just shorten it a little bit. As when perfect moments leave you can create another perfect moment. So I thought that was very sweet. I really like that. And I love the bubble battle with the bubble man's wife. Everything about this stand-up, it was on point for me. There was not one dull moment. There wasn't one, ooh, probably shouldn't have said that. It was just, you know what I mean? It was all just well done. Yeah. I didn't have any cringe moments. I didn't have any like, ugh, move on. He was just cute. He's just an adorable man. And I love when he talked about his mom. I forgot even to write those down. He loves his mother. It's adorable to hear him talk about his momsies. It's very, very cute. And if you have never seen Roy Wood Jr., I beg you all to watch this stand-up because he's so, so good.
And he touches on...
He asks for consent first. Go ahead.
He touches on how we as people are not as connected as we used to be.
Correct.
How that may be affecting people. And I think he hit some good points with that. And let's see. Yes, his mother, she sounds like an incredible woman, 75 years old. She's still working. She's obviously got more going for her than I do. But, well, I guess I'm still working too. I'm doing these podcasts.
And it's not a competition.
Oh.
Okay.
And I love when he sent his mom that thing about the Puerto Rican suck and slurp thing.
Yeah.
And he's ready for her to come back and be all embarrassed or shocked. And, well, if two people love each other, what's the harm?
In these trying times, if that's what they want to do. That's so funny.
And I really like what he said about friends. How much easier it is to make friends in your 20s than in your 40s, and how what you really need to do is compartmentalize. You've got your book club friends, you've got your walking friends, you've got your whatever friends. You don't have to create these in-depth friendships like you have with people that you've known for 40, 50 years.
Right.
Because there's the history and stuff that you can never duplicate with people you meet later on in life. But you do have memories. Like Sandy B, I mean, we've got memories. We get together for lunch and we're talking back about, remember when so-and-so did this? And, we'd be laughing and stuff. Those aren't going to happen to that degree with people you met 2 years ago. But that's okay. You can still have good relationships with people.
Right.
Just don't expect it to be in depth. Don't demand that much from them. Just take what they can bring to the table and you'll be okay.
Right. I think don't expect it, but it could happen. Like, my neighbor in Netherlands, we haven't known each other all that long. I consider really close. And we're, very similar in age. We have similar viewpoints on things, but we also differ in viewpoints on other things. We have good conversations. We all get together because of our animals. We get together because we enjoy each other's company. So it could happen, but you're right.
We haven't known each other years and years and years.
We've known each other for I've known Auntie Mary since 2004. So 20 years. Okay. And I've been coming to family events probably since 2005. So it's been nice. But really getting close has really been over past 5 years?
After Larry died.
Yeah, 6 years.
The last 5 years. Yeah. And then there's been so much that happened too in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So I think those things kind of cement a relationship.
And you can't get rid of me. She tries and tries and tries.
Yeah. I do. But we have, I don't know, we're so similar in some areas too. It's almost like, we almost complete each other's sentences.
Oh.
Sentences.
I know. I was trying to complete yours, but I was too late. Get it? Oh. That was the joke.
But there's been times where you'll start saying something and damn, that's exactly the way what I was going to say or whatever. So,
Yes, we're very simpatico. So see?
In some areas. In some
areas, not so much. That's true. So, but that makes good for good conversations and we don't have to always agree.
Like I like documentaries.
And I really don't.
I know. Which, by the way, stay tuned because next week I'm going to want to talk about a documentary.
That's right.
And it touched my heart.
Well, you talk about that heart touching next week.
Yeah, I will. And then when he wrapped it up, now the bubble man, back to Roy Wood
Yes.
Jr., the bubble man.
Yes.
When he started talking about how the bubble man would bring these kids up and he would put them in a bubble, I thought, boy, that's got to be like every kid's dream.
Right?
To be inside a bubble.
But I also liked his take on what an adult would do in that situation.
Exactly.
Get me out of this goddamn bubble and pop it. Because that's what I would
do. You're in awe for about 2 seconds, and then time to move on.
Right.
So, yeah. And then at the end of the show, when he says to the lady he had been dating for a year, who kind of told him, "This is what I want to do, is to go to see the bubble man with her kid." Mm-hmm. And after seeing how well the bubble man and his wife were together, I mean, they were like male and female versions of the same soul almost. Mm-hmm. Roy Wood says to her, "I don't think this is going to work." Poor woman.
Oh, I'm sure she's fine.
I'm sure she is.
She got $150 worth of tickets out of him, so I can't believe he paid for
210.
Not counting his ticket, just
yeah.
That her and her kid. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like, I wouldn't have paid that. I couldn't believe, I was shocked that he said he paid for all of them. Like, why would you pay for all of them?
Oh, hey, he's got the money. So.
I guess.
I mean, $74. He kept saying that over and over and over again. I thought, is this guy a cheap SOB or what? And then I thought he was talking about all 3 tickets for $74 when he talked about, the Bubble Man show. Mm-hmm. But then when he said that, he was $200 in the hole, and they just walked in. And then the kid starts wanting to talk to him, and Roy's got to tell the kid to shut up, basically. Did you see what he just did? That was cute. That was cute.
So overall, what did you think of Roy's stand-up?
That was okay. No, I really liked it. I like him. I like him a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. He's adorable. So if I do see him come around this area, I will get myself a ticket. If you don't want to go, I don't care, but I'm going.
Yeah, I'll pass because it'll probably be at the Paramount, and I'm not going to the Paramount anymore.
Well, I'm not either. I wouldn't buy a ticket at the Paramount anymore. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay. See, we are simpatico on that.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're on to the part of our program where we discuss commercials we have to talk about. And Antie Joan has one that I don't think she knows what she did with this one, but go for it, Antie Joan.
What do you mean?
You'll see. Tell everybody what we're talking about.
Okay, well, this is a preview of the Peyton and Eli Manning FanDuel commercial that they're doing for the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And they do like a trip back in time to when they were like high school jocks with their long hair and their row competitions type stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't care much for the FanDuel. I don't know much about it. I'm not into the sports stuff, but I just think that anything that Peyton and Eli Manning do is probably pretty gosh darn good. And I enjoy seeing them.
Well, that's nice. That's very nice.
Okay.
So I don't think you knew how much of a fan I am of the Eli Manning.
Oh, of Eli.
Well, I love Peyton. I love Peyton for other reasons that I love Eli. So Eli, I love because he brought the New York Giants 2 Super Bowl rings against the Patriots. 2007 and 2011. He beat Tom Brady twice. It was fantastic. He's the only quarterback to beat him twice in a Super Bowl. And the only other time that the Patriots lost in the Super Bowl was 2017 to the Eagles. But I don't care about that one. I care more about Eli because I have been a Giants fan for many, 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 many years. I don't watch football anymore because in our household, football was taken way too seriously, and yelling at the TV screen was something that we did every single Sunday, and it continued on into my adulthood, and I finally decided I didn't like doing that to myself anymore, so I cut myself off from football. But I waited until after Eli retired, and then I was done with football. But yes, the New York Giants, my dad and I, those 2 Super Bowls that Eli beat the Patriots with, my dad and I was in Colorado, Dad was in Connecticut, and we were over the phone and we watched the game together.
Oh.
And it's kind of sucked for my dad a little bit because his TV was on a slight delay from mine. So I would start celebrating. So it's like, you got to stop that. I don't know what's going on. Hey, yeah. But I couldn't help it because I was excited. Like I knew that they won before he knew that they won, kind of thing. And
don't you love it?
Yes. It was quite fun. So it brought back some wonderful memories when I saw you pick this. And I'm like, oh, I don't think Auntie Joan knows what she just did, but that's fantastic.
I didn't. See, I didn't know much about Eli Manning. Yes. I mean, Peyton was, of course, being in Denver.
Yes.
He was the big Manning name.
Yes.
And I think in general, he usually had more, like that SNL thing.
Yes.
When I was going to put that on as the commercial because I watched that again, and that was an SNL satire on, what's the charity that they would come around every year and ask people to donate? It was a group type charity.
Not St. Jude's.
No. It was an umbrella of different. It was a SNL satire of Peyton Manning and the United Way commercial that they had out. Mm-hmm. I think it was like 11 years ago or something, but it was so good.
Yes.
Yeah, he was not his hero self. Let's put it that way.
Peyton is definitely the more charismatic of the two and definitely has more... Yeah. He's more comfortable in front of the cameras than Eli is. And you could tell that Eli not struggles, but he's not as comfortable. Mm-hmm, and Peyton is he's just Peyton Manning. And Peyton was not playing for the Broncos at the time, but I did go see the Giants play the Broncos. Auntie Bethy had season passes at a club level from Time Warner. A group of them brought the seats that Time Warner used to own. A group of employees ended up buying because the Time Warner was going to get rid of them. So they ended up buying them. And she had one of the people that normally would go couldn't go. So I think I paid him for the ticket. I don't honestly remember, but I was the only person there cheering for the Giants. And Eli did me well because he won. and I was all happy.
And you lived to tell about it.
And I was all happy, and everybody around me was pissed off.
Well, while searching for this SNL satire, mm-hmm. There's another one that I think we need to put out there, and it's it's Peyton Manning being interviewed, like a mockumentary mm-hmm. of him at a retirement home. And it's kind of like that SNL thing with seniors. Mm-hmm. It's really good. So we'll have to put a link out there for the peoples. Yeah.
Yes. And I like this FanDuel commercial. I loved Peyton with his little mustache when he was back in the day. I thought that was hysterical too. Yeah. I'm like, with his puka beads around his neck. It's just funny. They're ridiculous. Now, I won't be watching the Super Bowl this year, so I'll have to wait until the clips afterwards to see who wins. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure I'll hear who wins before I watch it, but they're calling it the kickoff or something for FanDuel. I don't understand what it is.
I think it's a contest between Peyton and Eli to see who can kick the best, I don't know, field goal or something.
Yeah, I know they're starting at the 25-yard line. I wonder if they're both like going to kick from there first and then keep moving it back 5 yards until whoever. I don't know. I'm totally guessing as to what this competition thing is. I don't get it because I bet you both of them are going to do the 25-yard line because I'm confident they've been practicing that. I don't know what, like I said, in my head, then they're going to go to the 30-yard line. Then they're going to go to the 40, 35, 40. I don't know. See who can kick the longest field goal is my guess, but I have no idea.
Well, I guess the interest in the Super Bowl's going down. They got to start bringing in the Manning boys to do a contest.
That is one sure way to get people to watch again. I'll tell you that.
I'd like to watch that. But it'll be on YouTube the next day.
Exactly, and that's where I will watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
keep those Manning boys coming.
Right. Yeah, I think my last watching of a Super Bowl was truly watching and being interested in it was 2011 when the Giants won. But I also think it was, I went to Super Bowl parties after that. I just didn't watch the games. I just ate the food, which is always so freaking good. But good times.
Yeah.
Good pick, Auntie Joan. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. I couldn't believe you picked it, to be honest with you. It was quite a surprise to me. Yes. And I was very happy about it.
Have you seen that commercial?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have?
I have. Yes.
I mean, have you seen it?
Yeah.
Like,
on streaming. Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you selected it because, I mean, it is a commercial. To me, it was like a mini, I got to see the Manning brothers. Like, I never equated it to actually being a commercial we should talk about just because I was excited.
Really?
Just because I was excited to see them. Like, it went over my head that it was even really like, oh my God, it's a commercial we could totally bring to the show. Never entered my head. And as soon as I saw you sent that, I was like, oh, yeah.
And can I just say,
of course,
on a different commercial, those damn 1-800 cars for kids, that's still going.
I have never seen that on a service. No.
Well, the channels I watch, between that commercial and the poor animals, the Humane Society stuff, that's what they play a lot of. And it but I'll be in the kitchen in that 1-800 cars for kids. Those kids are probably going to be able to pay for their grandkids' college educations.
That's right.
From that damn commercial.
And if you want to hear more about Cars for Kids, we talked about that in a previous episode, which we'll also link in this episode. So you're aware that you can listen to us really rant about 1-800 Cars for Kids.
Yeah. This isn't the time to do it. We've done it. Been there, done that.
Good pick, Auntie Joan. Glad to see the Manning brothers. I'm glad that you like the Manning brothers. I wasn't sure where you were going to go with this, so I was a little concerned because I was super excited. I'm like, God, I hope she's not going to bash this thing because I'm going to be all happy and elated. So I'm glad you like them too.
I didn't know. I knew Eli. I had heard his name before, but I didn't realize he was that good.
Good at what?
At football.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I didn't look up. No, I know he only has 2 Super Bowl rings, and they were both from the only 2. I just didn't know if he won another Super Bowl that wasn't against the Patriots. But no, he has 2 Super Bowl rings, so they have 2 Super Bowl championships. Both were against the Patriots, and yeah, man, I love him.
Well, good on him.
All right, Auntie Joan, anything else for our listener today?
No, I'm done.
All right. Well, that wraps it for yet another wonderful Pickled Watermelon Rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Antie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.